Welcome. Did you know that we spend over 70% of our waking hours communicating? Yet, research shows we only remember about 25% of what we hear. That's a huge gap. Imagine if you could bridge that gap and truly understand those around you. Mindful listening isn't just about hearing words. It's about connecting on a deeper level. In fact, a study from the University of Minnesota found that people who practice mindful listening experience 50% more positive emotions in their relationships. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful steps to elevate your listening skills. You'll learn how to be fully present, recognize unspoken emotions, and respond in ways that truly resonate. Each chapter will give you practical tools and insights to transform your conversations from ordinary to extraordinary. Stick with us, and you'll discover how to enhance your connections and create more meaningful interactions. Ready to unlock the secrets of mindful listening? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The Art of Silent Reception. Welcome to the first step of our journey, the art of silent reception. This might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Did you know that the average person listens at a rate of about 125 to 250 words per minute but thinks at 1,000 to 3,000 words per minute? That's a lot of internal noise. Silent reception is all about quieting that noise. When you truly listen, you show the speaker they matter. To practice this, start by focusing on your breath. A steady breath can help calm your mind. Try taking a deep breath in, hold for a moment, and slowly exhale. Do this a few times to center yourself before a conversation. Next, make eye contact. This shows the speaker that you are fully present. However, avoid staring, as it can be uncomfortable. Just a gentle, consistent gaze will do. Another key strategy is to nod occasionally. It's a simple way to show that you are engaged without interrupting. According to a study by Michael Argyle in his book Bodily Communication, nodding can significantly increase the perception of active listening. Sometimes, we feel the urge to respond immediately. Resist this temptation. Instead, let the speaker finish their thoughts completely. This is harder than it sounds but crucial. Psychologist Carl Menninger once said, "Listening is a magnetic and strange thing, a creative force." Your silence can create a space where the speaker feels heard and valued. To practice silent reception, try this exercise. Next time you're in a conversation, focus on staying silent for a full minute after the person stops talking. It will feel unnatural at first, but this practice can help you become a better listener. Remember, silent reception is about being fully present. It's not just about hearing the words but understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. This skill will not only improve your personal relationships but can also enhance your professional interactions. Chapter 2: Echoing Empathy. Now, let's move on to our second step, echoing empathy. Empathy is more than just understanding someone's feelings, it's about sharing and reflecting them back. This technique builds a deep emotional connection. Start by practicing active listening. This means fully concentrating, understanding, responding, and then remembering what's being said. It's a lot to take in, but with practice, it becomes second nature. One effective way to echo empathy is through mirroring. Mirroring involves subtly copying the speaker's body language, tone, and even their choice of words. According to the book The Like Switch by Jack Schafer, mirroring can create a sense of trust and rapport between people. When someone shares their feelings, repeat back what they've said in your own words. For example, if a friend says, "I've been really stressed at work," you might respond with, "It sounds like work has been overwhelming for you lately." This shows that you're not only listening but also understanding their experience. Another strategy is to use empathetic phrases. Simple statements like "I understand how you feel" or "that must be really hard for you" can go a long way in making someone feel heard. In nonviolent communication, Marshall Rosenberg emphasizes the importance of these empathetic responses in creating meaningful dialogue. A unique fact: a study by the University of Michigan found that empathy among college students has declined by 40% over the past few decades. This makes practicing and showing empathy more crucial than ever. Try this. During your next conversation, consciously make an effort to echo the speaker's emotions. Notice the difference it makes in the flow and depth of your interaction. Echoing empathy isn't about fixing problems or giving advice. It's about being there, fully and genuinely. As Brené Brown says in her book Daring Greatly, empathy has no script. There is no right way or wrong way to do it. It's simply listening, holding space, withholding judgment, emotionally connecting, and communicating that incredibly healing message of "you are not alone." By mastering the art of echoing empathy, you create a safe space for honest and open communication. This step is essential for building trust and deepening your connections with others. Chapter 3: Sensory Awareness in Conversations. Welcome to Chapter 3: Sensory Awareness in Conversations. This step is all about using your senses to enhance your listening skills. It's like tuning into a richer, fuller experience of the moment. Start by engaging your sight. Pay attention to the speaker's facial expressions, gestures, and body language. According to Albert Mehrabian's research, 55% of communication is nonverbal. So, what you see can tell you a lot about what the person is feeling. Next, use your hearing beyond just words. Notice the tone, pitch, and speed of the speaker's voice. These auditory cues can reveal emotions that words alone might not convey. A study from Yale University found that people who are good at reading vocal cues are more successful in their personal and professional lives. Let's talk about touch, even though it's less obvious in many conversations. Physical touch isn't always appropriate, but when it is, a gentle touch on the arm or a reassuring pat can enhance connection. Research from DePauw University shows that touch can significantly increase feelings of support and empathy. Don't forget about your sense of smell. This might seem strange, but scents can affect your mood and alertness. For instance, the smell of lavender can help you relax and be more present, according to a study in Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience. Taste might be the hardest to incorporate directly, but think about the environment of your conversation. A comfortable, pleasant setting can improve your sensory awareness. Maybe enjoy a cup of tea together. It can be a soothing ritual that prepares you for mindful listening. To practice sensory awareness, try this exercise. In your next conversation, focus on one sense at a time. Spend a few minutes observing visual cues, then shift to listening intently to vocal nuances, and so on. This will help you become more attuned to the full spectrum of communication. Remember, sensory awareness isn't just about gathering information. It's about enriching your presence and connection. As Thich Nhat Hanh says in The Miracle of Mindfulness, mindfulness helps you go home to the present. And every time you go there and recognize a condition of happiness that you have, happiness comes. Chapter 4: The Pause Principle. Now, let's delve into Chapter 4, The Pause Principle. This strategy is all about the power of intentional pauses in conversations. It might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes saying nothing speaks volumes. The first step is to become comfortable with silence. Many of us feel the need to fill every gap in conversation. However, pauses can create space for deeper reflection. According to Harvard Business Review, leaders who use strategic pauses are often seen as more thoughtful and confident. When someone finishes speaking, pause for a few seconds before responding. This gives you time to process what's been said and formulate a more thoughtful reply. A study by the University of Missouri found that people who practice pausing before speaking are perceived as better communicators. Pauses can also encourage the speaker to elaborate. Often, when you don't rush to fill the silence, the other person will continue talking, offering more insights and emotions. This technique is especially useful in sensitive or complex discussions. Another benefit of pausing is that it can help de-escalate conflicts. Taking a moment to breathe and think before responding can prevent knee-jerk reactions and promote more constructive dialogue. As Stephen Covey advises in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, seek first to understand, then to be understood. To practice the pause principle, try this. In your next conversation, consciously count to 3 after the other person stops talking. Use this time to breathe and gather your thoughts. It might feel awkward at first, but with practice, it becomes a natural and powerful tool. Remember, the goal of pausing isn't to create awkwardness. It's to foster deeper understanding and more meaningful interactions. As Mark Twain wisely noted, the right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. By embracing the pause principle, you can transform your conversations. It's a simple yet profound way to enhance your mindfulness and connect more deeply with others. Chapter 5. Decoding Nonverbal Cues. Welcome to Chapter 5, Decoding Nonverbal Cues. This step is all about understanding the language of the body, which often speaks louder than words. Start by observing facial expressions. A smile, a frown, or a raised eyebrow can convey a lot. According to psychologist Paul Ekman, there are 7 universal facial expressions that reflect our emotions: happiness, sadness, fear, anger, surprise, disgust, and contempt. Learning to recognize these can give you deeper insights into how someone feels. Next, pay attention to gestures. Gestures like a wave, a thumbs up, or even crossed arms can send strong messages. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that gestures can enhance the listener's understanding and retention of information. Posture is another key element. How someone sits or stands can tell you a lot about their state of mind. Leaning forward often indicates interest, while slouching might suggest disinterest or fatigue. According to Amy Cuddy's research at Harvard, adopting power poses can actually change how we feel and how others perceive us. Eye contact is crucial. It can show confidence, interest, and honesty. However, too much or too little eye contact can be problematic. Cultural differences play a role here, so it's essential to be aware of the context. Research from the University of Wolverhampton found that eye contact can increase mutual liking and trust. Don't forget about micro-expressions. These are tiny, fleeting expressions that reveal true emotions. They last only a fraction of a second, but learning to spot them can be incredibly useful. Ekman's research highlights that even the best liars have a hard time hiding these micro-expressions. To practice decoding non-verbal cues, try this exercise. Watch a video with the sound off and focus on the body language. See if you can interpret the emotions and intentions of the people just by observing their non-verbal communication. This can sharpen your skills in real-life interactions. Remember, non-verbal cues can vary widely between different cultures. What's considered a friendly gesture in one culture might be seen as rude in another. So, always consider the cultural context when interpreting body language. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, the eyes of men converse as much as their tongues, with the advantage that the ocular dialect needs no dictionary, but is understood the world over. By mastering the art of decoding non-verbal cues, you enhance your ability to understand and connect with others. This skill is essential for anyone looking to improve their mindfulness and communication. Chapter 6. Reflective Responses. Finally, we arrive at Chapter 6, Reflective Responses. This step is about crafting replies that show you've truly listened and understood. Start by summarizing what the speaker has said. This shows that you've been paying attention and helps clarify any misunderstandings. For instance, you might say, "So, what I'm hearing is that you're feeling overwhelmed by your workload. Is that right?" This technique is known as paraphrasing. Another strategy is to ask open-ended questions. These invite the speaker to elaborate and share more. Instead of asking, "Are you okay?" try, "Can you tell me more about what's been going on?" This encourages deeper conversation. According to a study in the Journal of Applied Research in Memory and Cognition, open-ended questions can significantly improve the accuracy and richness of the information gathered. Empathy is key in reflective responses. Use empathetic statements to show that you understand the speaker's emotions. Phrases like, "It sounds like you're really frustrated with this situation," can validate their feelings. In nonviolent communication, Marshall Rosenberg emphasizes the power of empathy in fostering connection and understanding. Reflective listening also involves acknowledging the speaker's perspective without judgment. You don't have to agree with them, but showing that you respect their viewpoint is crucial. As Stephen Covey says in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." To practice reflective responses, try this. In your next conversation, focus on using at least one reflective statement. Notice how it changes the dynamic of the conversation and deepens your connection with the speaker. Remember, reflective responses aren't about solving problems or giving advice. They're about showing that you're present and engaged. As Carl Rogers, a pioneer of person-centered therapy, said, "The great majority of us cannot listen. We find ourselves compelled to evaluate because listening is too dangerous." By mastering reflective responses, you can create a safe space for honest and open communication. This final step ties together all the previous chapters, helping you achieve mindful listening and deeper connections with those around you.